Greetings. So last Friday, Yeshub from the YAP Gang over on the Genesis 49ers channel showed his results that he got while using the ancient Egyptian test, which is provided by Dr. Eran ElHaik's Ancient DNA Origins platform. And it was, this discussion was covered in a sort of appendix or bonus section at the end of the video, which you see on your screen, which was titled E1B1A Friday, Bantu Expansion Secular Info, YAP Gang Phylogeny. So I'm going to share a roughly 27-minute excerpt from that show, and there'll be a link to the fuller discussion in the video description. Now, the relevant kit is listed as pertaining to more specifically Ptolemaic Egypt, though some of the samples which are employed date to shortly before the Ptolemies ruled Egypt. So basically, the information which is provided gives a sort of snapshot of the sort of diversity that existed in Egypt in the last few centuries leading up to the dawn of the Common Era, also known as the Christian Era. And towards the end of the segment, the gentleman in the YAP Gang also offer some critiques of the methodology which is employed by Dr. ElHaik's platform. Also, the discussion also corroborates a point which Yeshub has made in the past about the likely autosomal differences between ancient residents of the Near East, which is to say Northeast Africa, Southwest Asia, on the one hand, and modern sub-Saharan West African populations or the West African diaspora on the other. Now, of course, that's speaking generally. There's going to be exceptions, and like as we always say, you need to take those sort of things on a case-by-case basis. But whatever the case, his general point does have some corroboration, which can be found in these examinations of these different kits, however flawed. Also, on a side note, the discussion confirms a point which I touched on in a previous video on my channel, which was that one only gets a column marked me in the population-wide results section of Dr. ElHaik's platform. One only gets a me column if one has meaningful connections with the samples that are employed in that relevant test, whatever particular test you're using. But all around, this is an interesting segment, and I think it has valuable information and valuable discussion. So without further ado, we're going to pick this up at slightly past the 1 hour, 58-minute mark of the show. And again, this clip will run for a little less than 27 minutes. And by the way, this is being posted with prior permission. So enjoy the presentation, and God bless.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Well, let's go to ancient origins, ancient DNA origins again. Let's revisit that. But this time, we got a twist. You ready, Avery?
Let's get started.
You see what that says?
Oh, Ptolemaic.
The Ptolemaic plot twist.
You took this one.
So
the Grecian Egyptians.
The Grecian Egyptians. Hold on now. E1B1B. And the mitochondrial M1 for this particular person here, Neoph. And they dating this about 2,500 years, so 500 BCE, right? And we go down, look at the admixture here. 26% Scandinavian, 20% Yamnaya, 18% European Bell Beaker, 15% Stone Age African, 11% Mesolithic and Neolithic East Asian, Early Bronze Age Albion and Alba 5%, Atlantic Celtic Middle Late 5%. So Egypt was pretty much very much so admixed during this time. But also look at this, 15% Stone Age African. And actually when I go to my thing, how do I get out of this? Let me go back.
Kind of interesting that Egyptian didn't have any Middle Eastern DNA. It had only European and African.
Right.
But no Middle Eastern. When
I go to my results, I actually get pings on this one because of that Stone Age African.
Mm-hmm.
So the Osier person, I get pings with Adam. I get pings with Saeed, Wadatif, Neoph, which we just saw, Amahar, and Amenophis. I think that's how you say it. And then my genetic similarity to the culture to the left, I'm 13% similar to Osier and 87% dissimilar to him. And of course, my average genetic similarity to Ptolemaic Egyptian is 100%. According to this, I don't know how you get 100%. You could have put like a little sliver right there because I do share some autosomes with them because it's sub-Saharan African autosomes. All right. Anyway,
that's pretty interesting.
So if y'all want to get pings and you got Stone Age Africa, you might want to get the Egyptian one.
Yeah.
So let's look at some more, man, for fun right here. So let's go to my results, view the stories. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Before we do that, go to my results, and then let's go to view population-wide results. Russia. Look, you see the me right there? Because I do got some similarity there, right? 13%.
Right.
Look, the Chechen 67%, which makes sense, right? Siberia 52%, Russia 51%. Dang, pretty much a lot of hits in Russia. Look at that.
So this is confirming when you have a match somewhere, you link up it all. It has a me column, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
That's confirmed. You only get the me column if you match. 13% is me. And dang, look, Dagestan, that's J. A lot of J right there, ain't it? Dagestan?
100%. Yeah, Dagestan.
Got that Khabib Nurmagomedov. How do you say his name?
Who?
Khabib Nurmagomedov, whatever his name is, like the UFC fighter from Dagestan.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know me.
He's like one of the illest. Like he was one of the illest UFC fighters in his weight class or whatnot. He was a wrestler or whatnot. They couldn't know, like he was a beast.
Man, Russia and Caucasus got more in common with ancient Egypt than Shaka Ahmed.
You just don't know. Let me show you the path so your future can look bright. Help you walk into the light. Help you see yourself. I've heard them say that we wasn't even there. Baby, let me make it clear. We were.
Can't believe he even made that song sometimes.
Right?
Yeah, Shaka Ahmed. You need to, like, every homie of yours that did not tell you that was a whack song, you need to kick out of your life, man.
Oh. Anyway, so look, you can see it's very high on Asia Central. And then the Balkans, let's see where they at. Look, Greece, of course. Of course, Greece is going to be high during this time, right? Bulgaria, Croatia, Romanian, and Hungary. Italy. Spain, Albania, Spain is very 40-some%. Let's see about Arabia. Yemen Jew, Saudi Arabia. Hey, your boy was saying that these columns applied to him. He thought that these columns applied to him, man. Middle East is Syria, 48, Israel, 46%. Lebanon, Israel, Jordan, Israel, Bedouin, 45. So y'all can see Iran, 48%. Africa, Egypt, of course, Tunisia, Algeria, Mozambique, blah, blah, blah. Y'all see Libyan Jew, very close autosomally. These people in Turkey are very close autosomally, man. So if we go with the autosomal argument, then we have to concede that we have very little to do with these places. Tell you go with the autosomal, you have nothing to do with these ancient people, man. If you want to go strictly off of what they call Stone Age African. Anyway, let's look at some
I wish
samples.
they had more than just Ptolemaic.
I know, right? Let's go to view stories on ancient people. They probably got it in the works, man. This dude's gonna milk this community out of all their money. Probably like that's gonna be the, on the game. Like you buy the game, they got the expansion pack, they got the DLC.
Mm-hmm. God of War Ragnarok.
I'm not knocking the business model, man. So this is a Dom about 2673. What's that? 6th century BC. And of course, haplogroup J. Let's look at this autosomal admixture. 0% Stone Age, 30% Yamnaya, 27% European Bell Beaker, 23% Scandinavia, and 9% Atlantic Celtic Middle Late. All right, let's go back. Look at another one here, and get ready to end. Amenophis, M1 and CT, and it's 24% Scandinavian and 19%. There you go, Ivry.
That's Egyptian.
Yeah, 19% Stone Age African and 22% Canaan Anatolian.
Yeah, that person was very mixed with European, Middle Eastern, and Sub-Saharan African.
Yeah. 12% European Bell Beakers.
Yeah, it was very mixed.
Get another one here. Emahar, 2,500 years ago. There you go. E1B1B. Yeah. And let's look at autosomal. So Scandinavian, 24%, 19% Canaan and Anatolia, 17% Stone Age Africans, 15% Yamnaya, 13% European Bell Beaker, Mesolithic and Neolithic East Asians, 11%.
I wonder how he has East Asian.
All the people coming to Egypt during that time. Look at that.
Shoot, we know Asians in Egypt.
But you do know Asians in Africa because of Madagascar.
Yeah,
I can give you that.
Yeah, let's see how Stone Age African that haplogroup J is right quick.
25% Scandinavia, 23% Yamnaya, European Bell Beaker, 21%, 11% Stone Age African.
You're muffled.
You can't hear me?
All right, now that's better.
So it doesn't say it has 0 Stone Age African because it's haplogroup J. It says it's got 11% autosomal Stone Age African because that's how autosomal DNA works.
Yeah, exactly. It shows who your foreparents mix with to make you. But it's just so silly how those guys think, man. All right, so let's go back. Let's go to Boston.
No, brother. This is just endless genealogies.
That's gonna be the next one, huh? M1A.
It already is, bro.
Oh no, we was just on Brand dealing with that, fam. Like we jumped off Brand and got on here after dealing with that.
Let's look at this sister's admixture. Scandinavian 26%, Canaan Anatolia 25%.
That's a lot.
And then 21% Stone Age African.
That person could have had basically a grandparent that was full-blooded Stone Age African and full-blooded Canaan / Anatolian and Scandinavian.
It could have been full-blooded Tayu. Tayu's gonna be 20% Scandinavian, 80% Stone Age African.
Hey, did you run into haplogroup G yet in this whole joint?
No.
Nope.
I looked at it earlier. I didn't see G. Hati is another M1, which is a known Middle Eastern female haplogroup.
African / Middle Eastern.
Canaan and Anatolia 25%, Scandinavia 25%, 21% Stone Age African, Mesolithic, Neolithic, East Asians 14%, Yamnaya 8%, European Bell Beakers 7%.
Yeah, everybody's mixed. Nobody's 100% nothing.
Except Tayu, they're 100% Israelite. There's nothing you can tell them to convince them otherwise. Canaan and Anatolia 25%, Scandinavia 24%, and 21% Stone Age African. Mesolithic and Neolithic East Asians 14%, Yamnaya 8%, European bell beakers, 7%. Dang, I'm losing track. Where was I? I think I'm on Camille. Camille lived 2,400 years ago, and it's a female too, U6. 27% Scandinavian, 24% Canaan and Anatolian, 21%. So all the females are floating around at 21% Stone Age African. And then Mesolithic, Neolithic, East Asian, 14%, Yamnaya, 8%, European bell beakers, 6%. Neof. E1B1B, got another YAP brother in the building. And he is 26% Scandinavian, 20% Yamnaya, European bell beakers, 18%, 50% Stone Age African, Mesolithic and Neolithic, East Asian, 11%, Early Bronze Age, Albian and Alba, 5%, Atlantic Celtic, Middle Late, 5%. Nor. This is more recent, 2,000 years ago. This is another YAP brother. And he is 25% Canaan and Anatolian, 24% Scandinavian, 22% Stone Age African, Mesolithic, Neolithic, East Asian, 14%, Yamnaya, 8%, European bell beaker, 7%. Ozir, this is the one I matched with. It's about 2,650 years ago, and it's a J. I matched with a J marker, y'all. And it's actually 30% Yamnaya, European bell beaker, 27%, Scandinavian, 23%, and 9% Atlantic Celtic, Middle Late, Early Bronze Age, Albian, Alba, 6%, Mesolithic, Neolithic, East Asian, 4%. Oh, it says 0% Stone Age. So why the hell did it say I connected with him? It said 13%. Oh, let me go back. So we stopped at Ozir. So when I go to my results, and it says here genetic similarities to Ptolemaic Egyptians. It says I'm 13% similar to Ozir, but he has 0% Stone Age African. So what is that based off of? Anyway, let's go back. Rakaya is about 500 BC as well. 28% Scandinavian, 24% Canaan, Anatolian, 20% Stone Age African. Is this a woman or yes, woman? U6. So all the women on here pretty much all have Stone Age African. Yanaya 7% European bell beaker. And Saeed, 2,500 years ago, is a J marker. Oh, 7% Stone Age African. Yamnaya, 26%. European bell beaker, 24%. Scandinavian, 24%. Atlantic Middle Late, 8%. Stone Age African, 7%. Mesolithic and Neolithic East Asian, 6%. Early Bronze Age Albian Alba, 5%. Saleha is another female. So I want to bet, yep, 20%. So all the females around that percentile on this page, man. With the highest being Scandinavian. They call this Ptolemaic, but this would be before. No, it says the Greek was. Egypt was ruled by Wahiri Samtik, the first known by the Greeks. Okay, yeah, this is before the Greeks because the Greeks don't come to power to 331 BCE. And this is a J haplogroup here, 28% Scandinavian, Canaan, Anatolia, 24%, 20% Stone Age African. Then the last one, Sanahar, around the same period. It's another J marker. And it's 20% Stone Age African, Scandinavian. So if y'all want to get one that actually matches with your autosomal, get the Egyptian one. So that's the last one. And again, for the brothers that are wondering about how your test is going to look, when you go to population-wide results, and you do match one of the samples or any one of the samples, you will get a me column. And according to genetic similarity, I'm 13% compared to the ancient sample, which they say is the, which one was it again? Ozier at 13%. Anyway, that's that. Avery, any last comments on ancient DNA origins?
No, it looks like you said, the best one to get for African Americans would be the Egyptian one, because that's the one that seems like will match. But as for the Israelite, it doesn't seem like we can match that unless you're mixed. Like if you have a Jewish father or mother or grandparent, you might get some Israelite. But other than that, it doesn't seem like you'll get Israelite. You'll more than likely get Egyptian, which makes sense because of things like Ramses III and all that. So,
More, what about you?
I think the most important thing to understand is this site is set up the exact same way that Teo would have it set up based upon their autosomal model. And so understanding that, like, just understand, like, again, it's talking about there's literally almost zero. And this is what I don't like. So again, if Dante was to take this test, Dante is more sub-Saharan African than Yeshub is. Yeshub came out at 80% on this thing, right? Dante is close to 90%, right? So if he took this test, Dante, we know for a fact, has a downward clade, a close downward clade of the E1B1 that we find at with the Natufians and whatnot, right? Because that turned into E1B1B, and then that turned into his EM84, etc., whatnot, right? And so even if he took this test, right, and took the Judah test like Yeshub did the other night or whatnot, he would come up with 0% Israelite and like the 99% sub-Saharan African, most likely, or the Stone Age African, most likely, right? Because he's even more autosomally West African and sub-Saharan African than Yeshub is. So I just want people to keep that in mind, because this is why autosomal DNA is not good for tracking your paternal lineage or maternal lineage over millennia and whatnot, because it only goes back 500 years, some say 1,000 years, right? So that's the most important thing to understand is, like, again, this site is set up the same based on the model that the Teo twins are talking about. And again, nobody with the majority of West African DNA is going to get the hits they're looking for in the Levant. And what's funny about that is if they actually included the haplogroups and whatnot, you should get some sort of like maybe trace connection to the Levant, right? Like so again, Yeshub is EU290, right? Dante is EM84. They should both get some minuscule connection to the Levant, right? So even in GEDmatch, Dante, again, he's mostly West African, but he even comes up at least 3% Natufian, a little under 3% Natufian, right? It would have made sense to me if there was like at least a trace amount, a point something percent amount connection, being that they both have E. If you go to My True Ancestry, whatnot, right? They would have, if the site used the same methodology that My True Ancestry used, and I don't even like that website. But if this website used the same methodology that My True Ancestry used, you would have shown some connection. It would have shown you some kind of connection to the E1B1, etc. If you have haplogroup, if you're E1B1A or E1B1B, because it would give you some basic match. It would match up as close as possible to the ancient DNA that they have, right? So, for instance, they did the same thing in their Iberian samples, right? So there's an E1B1 sample that literally, like, everyone that has E basically matches up to the Iberian Moorish whatever samples they have in My True Ancestry because of how generic the E1B1 is, right? So because the E1B1 is so generic, it should have given you some kind of hits if you're haplogroup E, right? even if it's at, like I said, a minuscule amount, but we don't. So we know it completely excludes haplogroup the same way that the Teotins would have their model do, right? So again, this is their geneticist that they're saying is proving us wrong, right? Literally shooting their whole model in the face with a scholastic shotgun.
You need to have a GIF that has somebody cocking their shotgun.
But yeah, I'll let my plane there because that just is what it is, man.
Right, that's it, man. Well said. New Hope says, do they have a link to the entire data set for the Israelites on the site? Seems to be that the data is set biased based on putative data. It's based off the remains that were found.
Canaanite.
Yeah, even before the Canaanites.
They go back being older.
Remember, Canaanites had. My bad. Go ahead.
I said they go back being older than Abraham. He got his grandchildren, great grandchildren being older than him on the site.
Right, and a lot of those samples that they were using, some are Natufian and some are Canaanites. And keep in mind, I don't know if we've covered this on the channel, but the Canaanites, their genome basically would be Southern Caucasus, Armenian, and Zagros Iranian. You're definitely not going to connect to Canaanites because they were basically Eurasian, and we're not Eurasian. So yeah, I'll do a video breaking down the Canaanites and stuff in the future.
I don't know how he said that whole sentence and did not mention the Horians at all.
I was tempted, but I didn't want to spoil my future presentation.
All right, I think my brother Sean sleep, man, so I'm gonna let him rest.
I'm still here. Yeah, but basically, everything the brothers just said is really nothing to add to it. You're not gonna get what you're looking for, So it's a fun tool if you want to play around with it and spend all your money, like a slot machine, So
it sure would be like gambling.
Yeah, you got so many different I guess not kits, but different tools to play with, to buy and different products to buy. So, hey, listen, like Yeshua says, it's a good business model.
You need to get like a Northern Kingdom, Southern Kingdom kit. You know what I'm saying? Like group them together. You know.
I did the math. You're gonna spend if you just buy them outright, you don't get the platinum plan or whatever it's called. You're gonna spend about $900.
Hey. You might as well get the big Y.
The big Y for real. You can get 2 kits of big Y for that.
There's better websites with more comprehensive data than what we, like you said, my true ancestry did a better job, but it is what it is, man. They want to, he was smart. I can't hate on him. He's smart. The way he did it was smart. Break it up into little bitty packages. He knows people are, enamored with the history of the Israelites. So you're gonna get people that claim they Israel to buy the packages. You're gonna get people that don't claim they Israel because they want to know more about, ancient Israel. He's smart. He's gonna clean up well off that website.
Low key though, I can't lie. It does feel like false advertisement. Talking about tribe of Judah, tribe of Levi, tribe of Issachar. We don't have no Israelite remains like that. Like,
and they coming at us like we're trying to act like that's our argument that we're trying to say we're trying to prove that, like, yo, your man's is literally charging you to look at some stuff that's fraudulent like that. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. I'm like, bro.
Yeah, the level of cap is amazing, bro. Like it's like unsurpassed. It's like the superpower with these cats. You know what I'm saying?
Even Polite taking notes.
Polite.
He's like, I ain't scammed this hard in a long time. Anyway, let's get out of here, y'all.